Sworn in the world's biggest democracy, Narendra Modi now has unprecedented power in modern India. He says he'll unite the country. But with India still riven with ethnic violence, can he really create an economic superpower? We'll be joined by a Modi cheerleader, a critic and a businessman who thinks both India and the UK have a lot to gain. Alpesh Patel, businessman and advisor to the government on closer UK-Indian business ties. Good evening to you all. First time to bring in Alpesh. You hear all this and you say this is a country where there is sectarian violence, there's attacks on journalists, you can't criticise Modi, there is that citizenship test. Not the only global power, if you look at somewhere like China, but can you put your hand on your heart and say that India really will be, a powerhouse of the economy when it still has the very possibility that there might even be a war with Pakistan?
I don't recognise Nazi Germany that's being portrayed. That's the bit that I don't recognise when I look at the Muslim business people, and I don't define them by their religion, but I look at them looking to export into India and make it into the superpower, the UK exporters, and the technology companies and the other businesses out of India looking to set up here. In every single conversation, I've not come across this from crisscrossing the country everywhere. Now, there has been a Hindu-Muslim conflict since the days of the Mughals, before even the British. But to say that it comes down to the Prime Minister, I'm sure...
But you admit that he's not interested in a secular country.
I don't admit that at all. I think that's the exact opposite of the truth. He's upheld the Constitution. He talks about... Why is there a minority wing of the BJP? Why were there people like Abdul Alim Khan, who a Muslim and part of the BJP? Why are Muslims voting for him if all Muslims, as you state, all Muslims are petrified of him? This is just not true. He couldn't carry and you couldn't be a patriot and a nationalist patriot and also disenfranchise pretty much 20% of the entire population and still attract inward investment, because business, we would be the first to be frightened. We'd be the first to say, we're not going anywhere near that country.
But you have a situation where you see that in modern society, in the next 30 years, there's going to be 200 million more Indians coming into the workplace. And yet you have a situation at a Hindu shrine where women of menstrual age are barred, are vilified, and Modi doesn't condemn it. I mean, you know, the BJP is a party which is absolutely the master and mistresses of social media. They could condemn it in 2 minutes.
Let's absolutely agree on one point. Modi could condemn more extreme out of the billion people. Corbyn could condemn anti-Semites, and Theresa May could condemn Islamophobes. Absolutely agree with you. All three political leaders, and Trump could probably condemn himself. But I agree with you. Political leaders don't do enough condemnation. Absolutely agree with you. But to say that is part of the policy, it belies the fact that there are so many Muslims in support of him. It belies the fact there's so much inward investment.
Actually, not condemn will be in the next 5 years in terms of the economy and in terms of society.
I think it's going to be unleashing the entrepreneurs. I think the Prime Minister's made very clear.
But you need investment. You need massive investment.
You need massive capital coming in, but on the flip side, you need to create employment. And he's a technophile, and he's made very clear he wants to help the poorest in society as well as the wealthiest. And the way to bring in more employment is those micro-entrepreneurs, making sure that it's easier to invest in those. That creates employment and creates a bigger tax base with which they can enact social change. And that, I think, is where it's going to come. It's going to come in from the micro-entrepreneurs in India.
What would the one